Fallout 76 is not a good game. I know there are plenty of people who like this game, and I did like it to some degree, especially in terms of the lore and the world itself. But the more and more I play Fallout 76, the more and more I begin to realize that this game is just... it's not Fallout anymore. This is not the series that I used to consider my favorite video game franchise of all time. Fallout 76 is the greatest example of how you can literally just completely destroy your fan base with one fell swoop. There was this one statement I heard from a YouTuber by the name of Woral, which he took this statement from a different person, which someone can easily leave a comment down below if they know where this quote is from. It takes 5 years to develop a reputation, but 5 seconds to completely ruin it. And yeah, Fallout 76 is the greatest example of how Bethesda, after so many years of garnering goodwill with its various games like with the Elder Scrolls series and the Fallout series, but all it took was Fallout 76 to completely ruin that goodwill that so many people had towards it. And let's face it, Bethesda was given way too many free passes in terms of what they got away with and otherwise. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a whole overview about Bethesda and yada yada yada, but here's the thing. I became a fan of the Fallout franchise in 2010 with the game Fallout New Vegas. I loved New Vegas, and it's still my favorite Fallout game today. I played 3, I went back and played 1, I played 2, I played 4, and while that wasn't the best, it was still fun, and I still have fun with Fallout 4 to this day. However, when I was getting into Fallout 76, I'll say this right now, I was worried. The first time I checked out Fallout 76 during Bethesda's press conference, I was very skeptical about it. Then I saw more about the game and I was like, okay, this might actually be interesting. So I actually pre-ordered it. Then I finally bought the game and I played it with my friend Logan, aka Geeky Steven. And we had a lot of good experiences, or at least some good experiences with Fallout 76. I had fun just playing my character from the beta, I had fun playing with Geeky Steven, and I had fun learning the lore and otherwise in Fallout 76, as well as exploring what is, in my mind, the most varied Fallout game in terms of locale. There are so many different locations in Fallout 76, from a standard, like meadow area, to a toxic wasteland full of poison water that will kill you, full of radiation, a swamp-like bog, which, holy crap, was it one of my favorite locations, to almost like a volcanic mining site. It's so varied, Fallout 76, in terms of what it offers in location. And me and Geeky Steven both agreed on that one. It had some of the best variation in terms of location, unlike Fallout 4, which suffered the problem of being too gray. Fallout 3 also suffered this problem where you spent way too much time in the metros and everything just felt so gray. New Vegas, I can't really say if it did or didn't, because New Vegas at least had some variety with the towns and stuff you went to, especially when you actually made it to New Vegas. And Fallout 1 and 2 were isometric, so I don't think it's fair to compare isometric games to 3D first-person / third-person shooters. But you get what I'm trying to say. 76 had a great location and atmosphere. That I will not take away from it. And I had fun learning about the lore about different things as well. Some of my favorite quests being when you were learning about the Fire Breathers and Hell, the Mistress of Mystery. Learning about her and her tragic backstory was interesting as well. But therein lies the problem. Yes, it was fun to do this stuff. Some of it by myself, some of it with Logan. But the problem is, in order for me to find a lot of this stuff, I had to trudge through the most tedious and boring Fallout game I have ever played to date. And it's sad to say that, because the story itself is interesting and the idea behind it is interesting. I like this idea of us traveling a destroyed world. An entire generation has been wiped out, and now it's up to us to not only figure out what happened to this generation, find a way to wipe out the pandemic that happened, or epidemic, I don't know what the right wording is, you know what I'm saying, and then basically try to make the place safe for future generations, aka those of Vault 76, the people that are going to reclaim West Virginia. I like this as an idea, and I don't mind the idea of there being no NPCs in the world, because it works with the whole aesthetic. And especially when you explore the world of Fallout 76, you learn why so many robots are so ingrained in almost every area. 76 does have setup. It does have a few good things going for it, and it does establish a few good things as well. However, this is coming from a guy who hasn't fully finished 76's story, but I just can't do it. The reason why I can't do it is because the story doesn't feel like you're involved. It just feels like you're going from one fetch quest to another. And that is the biggest problem I have with New Vegas. New Vegas made you do a lot of running around, doing fetch quests and otherwise, and that got boring very quickly, but at least they tried to vary it up with some of the quests. 76 feels like it's purely fetch quest. It feels like that you're just purely running from one area to another, purely just do this, do that, set up this, set up that, and yada yada yada. And it gets so grating after a while. Like when you start working with the Raider robot Rose. She makes you do these obscene tasks where you have to get these materials, make this upgrade, test it on a certain enemy, now do this, now do that, come back, oh wait, we still need to do this, go do that, come back. It's like, it gets so grating the amount of times they kind of make you do the same thing over and over again, and many of these quests are the same idea. Go to the location, learn the quest, go here, do this, come back, done, do it again. It's just as bad as Mafia 3. If I'm being honest, it's just as bad as Mafia 3 in terms of tedium, maybe even worse. And that's the one thing I can't stand, tedium. I can't stand how tiring this game gets. And I've already put in a solid 10-15 hours into the game already. It's not like I haven't put that much time into it. By the time I'm doing this video, I've already finished up with the free states. But this is what I'm trying to say. I feel as though I'm not engaged in the story. I feel like I'm just an errand boy. I feel like I'm just a fetch quest guy, and that really does bug me. Which then leads into one of the other problems I have with Fallout 76. It just isn't varied in terms of its quest variety. Like I said, you do a lot of fetch quests, and many of the holotapes and otherwise don't really add on to the story that you're trying to follow. Only some, and this is why I brought up two standouts. Like when you first learned about the fire breathers. I like that you go through the obstacle course, like everything that a fire breather has to go to, and the final test that you go through, you learn about the story of one of the a group of fire breathers who went through their final exam, and you were able to learn their story through these tapes. And by listening to their tapes, you can avoid the same mistakes they did. Me and my friend Geeky did this together, and when we finished it, we were both like, wow, this was great, this was fun. Only for the game to crash afterwards and us having to do it again. That's another problem, unfortunately. The game crashed a lot on us during like the launch day. I know they fixed that up a bit, but there's still a lot of crashes going on, and when the game isn't saving as constantly as it should, this leads to you losing quests, losing rewards, and otherwise this then leads to you having to redo these quests, which takes away the impactful moments and power that the quest may have, because now you have to do it again. So we had to redo the Fire Breathers quest again, and instead of being engrossed in the world like, holy crap, this is fun, we were pretty much just, let's just hurry this up since we've already done it already. That should not happen. That really shouldn't have happened. And it just took us out of the experience so badly. And this isn't the only time this has happened. There are times where we tried to join in quests together and for some reason it wouldn't save for one or the other. There were times when we tried to join up in a party and it freaking broke. And even when I was playing solo, there were many moments where the game just screwed itself. Like whenever I died and my body fell through the map and it wouldn't let me fast travel to any location on the map, like none. So I had to leave the game, reload, my character was still dead, and for some reason wouldn't let me fast travel. I had to fully turn off my PS4 to actually fix the issue. And when I finally did that, I just spawned all the way in Fallout at Vault 76, and none of my items were there because I had to quit the game. That angered me to no end. Like, it really did. It really just pissed me off, and I'm pretty sure some people have gone through this bug, or even the over-encumbered bug, or the game-breaking damage bug. I've had that happen, and the worst part is, this is a bug from Fallout 4, My friend Geeky ran into this bug with a blood bug, where basically the blood bug was invincible. When bugs from Fallout 4 are appearing in Fallout 76, that tells you the integrity of this game. That lets you know exactly how bad this game was optimized and ported. Because let's face it, this feels like a port job. Fallout 76 feels like such a port job. It feels like just a mod of Fallout 4 but with multiplayer, and that's what angers me, because Fallout multiplayer can work. It can be good, but it just bugs me that it was done so sloppily, and Bethesda's still handling themselves in such a horrible manner. The canvas bag incident, people's personal information being leaked, Bethesda making patches to the game that they didn't tell anyone about, and now they're being radio silent. Like, so many of the people within Bethesda are being so silent right now about everything that's going on, and right now it's being left to community freaking representatives to put out the fires and take care of everything that's happening. I'm sorry, but that is terrible. You're basically leaving people who don't deserve the backlash they're getting in the lurch, while the real people who were behind this stuff are basically hiding behind these people like a shield. I know I'm sounding very angry right now, and I can't help it. Fallout used to be my favorite video game franchise of all time. Yes, used to. I loved the Fallout series. I was a die-hard fan. I would do anything for this series. But after 76, no. I'm sorry, but after what Bethesda's doing, after what happened with 76, even a month after the game has come out, it still hasn't been fixed. I'm sorry, but no. I will not support a game or company that treats its consumers like this. And like I said, if there are people out there watching this video that like 76, I do not blame you. I actually have a lot of fun with 76 myself. And that's the trick. 76 is a very fun game when everything is working properly. When no bugs are happening, when you're engrossed in the lore and such in the world, when you're checking out the land itself, there's fun. There is fun to be had with 76. But there's so many moments that just take you out of the experience. There are just so many problems with this game that prevents you from fully engrossing yourself into the world. And yeah, I know you can make the argument that the game is better with friends, but any game is better with friends. And to be honest, I like playing games like this solo because I like to take my time, learn the world, learn what happened to each location. In fact, that's the one thing that I know Geeky both loves and hates about me, that I like to take time to piece together each location instead of just coming along and hurrying up things. Though he is at least glad that I try to explain things to him, so that way he doesn't really have to, but this is the problem. My friend Geeky Steven said this: if we are able to look up the stories of Fallout 76 on YouTube and not really need to actually experience them ourselves, that's a huge problem, and it is. I know there are some stories of 76 that are better experienced than listened to, but unfortunately, a lot of the stories don't feel like they have the impact that they should. I feel like many of the stories in 76 you could just listen to and not lose anything. Unlike, say, again, Firebreaver's quest and the Mistress of Mystery. Those quests are better experienced rather than listened to. And yeah, that's the whole crux of Fallout 76, unfortunately. It has great ideas behind it. It's just that it's horribly executed by Bethesda. And it's horribly executed by the fact that it really feels like they have no idea what they're doing. And don't even get me started on the Atom Shop. We gave a lot of crap to Creation Club. Hell, I did as well. I won't deny it. I've bought into Creation Club on a few agendas. But the thing is, some of the creations later down the line got a lot better. Like, seriously, they've added some cool little quest lines and otherwise to the creations, and they feel like, some of them feel like stuff that could be in, like, you know, a Fallout series and yada yada yada. I know many people will say, oh, they're just paid mods and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna disagree with those people, but I will at least say I'll give Bethesda credit for at least trying to add a little bit more, or at least the people that added to the Creation Club for at least trying to add a little bit more variety to them, rather than just making them, oh, buy it, here's the weapon in your inventory, enjoy. However, the Atom Shop is a completely different story. That stuff is insane. Let me say it right now. You could buy a Pip-Boy skin in Creation Club for 50 credits, which is the equivalent of 50 cents. The cheapest Pip-Boy skin you could buy in the Atom Shop is 200 Atom, which is the equivalent of $2. And it gets worse because some of the outfits are from earlier Fallout games, and they're selling those for the equivalent of 18, 20 bucks. Almost freaking 35% to, yeah, like, you get what I'm saying? A third of the game, basically, for a freaking outfit. I'm sorry, but no, I can't. All this stuff combined, all these problems that 76 have, and all of these egregious things that Bethesda are doing, no, this is not a company that I once supported. This is not the game franchise that I once thought was my favorite of all time. I will not support a company like this, and nor should you. Again, you like Fallout 76, more power to you. But you can't blame the rest of us for feeling the way we do. Especially someone like me who's a longtime fan. I wanted to like 76. I wanted this game to be good. I wanted to engross myself in its world. But Bethesda has proved to me one thing. They failed in that. They failed to get me and many others into the game. And they're still failing now. Even though they promised change, even though they're saying, oh, we're going to do our best to change and remain in communication, they're completely proving the opposite. Bethesda is not a company we should be supporting. Fallout 76 is the game that ruined my love for Fallout. And it's honestly the game that made me open my eyes to Bethesda and its wrongdoings. I was blinded, I won't deny that. But to be honest, maybe it's because I wanted to enjoy their games despite their flaws. But 76 is the game that made me realize I can't be doing that. I'm a critical guy, and if I want to keep touting myself as a critical guy, I need to be critical to the companies that deserve it. So no, I will not support 76. I will not be supporting Bethesda anymore. Maybe some of the other companies, I haven't quite decided yet, but no. I will not support a company that nickels and dimes me, that gives me empty promises and otherwise. I would much rather put my support into a company that I know won't do this to me, that loves their fan base, and will do everything in their power to make sure you get a game experience worthy of the $60 that you paid. This game ruined my love of Fallout, and that alone makes me sad. So with that said, what are your thoughts on this topic? Do you agree with me on how I feel about Fallout 76? Do you disagree with me in some kind of way? Go ahead and leave your comments down below and we'll discuss it in the comment section. So, till next time guys, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen. And you know what? Even though I'm done with Fallout 76 and Bethesda, there's one saying that I said in high school, and it still applies here. When one door closes, another opens. Till next time guys, take care.